James Bond is racing through the narrow, twisting roads of Lake Garda, Italy, behind the wheel of his Aston Martin DBS V12. Bullets ricochet off the car's armor as enemy vehicles pursue him relentlessly. Bond's calm exterior belies the chaos around him. In the trunk lies his captive, Mr. White, a high-ranking operative of the mysterious organization Quantum. As Bond evades gunfire and outmaneuvers his attackers, he finally escapes into an MI6 safe house in Siena. Inside the safe house, Bond and M interrogate Mr. White, hoping to extract information about Quantum. White, ever confident, mocks their efforts, proclaiming, "We have people everywhere." His words prove chillingly accurate when Craig Mitchell, M's own bodyguard, suddenly betrays her. Mitchell shoots a guard and attempts to kill M, but Bond intervenes, sparking a furious chase. White escapes in the chaos, leaving Bond to pursue Mitchell through the bustling streets and rooftops of Siena. The chase, interwoven with the town's polio horse race, is a masterclass in action filmmaking. Bond finally corners Mitchell, and after a brutal struggle, kills him. But his victory is overshadowed by White's disappearance, leaving MI6 with no new leads on Quantum. Back in London, Bond and M dig into Mitchell's background, uncovering a connection to Haiti. Bond follows the trail to Port-au-Prince, where he encounters Edmund Slate, a hitman hired by Quantum. Their confrontation is sudden and violent, with Bond emerging victorious. Searching Slate's belongings, Bond discovers a photograph of Camille Montez, a mysterious woman linked to Quantum. Bond's investigation takes an unexpected turn when he meets Camille, who mistakes him for Slate. Camille is sharp, resourceful, and driven by her own vendetta, though her motivations remain unclear. Through Camille, Bond is introduced to Dominic Greene, a wealthy and calculating environmentalist who conceals a sinister agenda beneath his philanthropic facade. Camille, who has been using Greene to get closer to General Medrano, a Bolivian ex-dictator responsible for murdering her family, quickly falls out of favor. Greene, realizing she's been investigating him, decides to eliminate her. He coldly hands her over to Medrano as part of a deal to install Medrano as Bolivia's next president. In return, Medrano agrees to grant Quantum control over a barren stretch of Bolivian desert. Unbeknownst to him, the land contains Bolivia's largest freshwater supply, and Greene plans to create an artificial drought, monopolizing the resource. As Medrano drags Camille onto his yacht, intending to assault her, Bond intervenes. The ensuing battle is chaotic and visceral. Bond dispatches Medrano's men and rescues Camille, but Medrano escapes. Though grateful, Camille is furious Bond's actions robbed her of the chance to personally avenge her family. Their partnership, forged in shared pain, begins to take shape. Bond continues to track Greene, uncovering Quantum's far-reaching influence. His investigation leads him to a performance of Tosca in Bregenz, Austria, where Greene and other Quantum operatives convene. Bond infiltrates the opera, using a covert earpiece to listen in on their plans. When Quantum members realize they've been compromised, a chaotic gunfight erupts. Bond escapes, but the fallout is severe. M, believing Bond to be reckless and consumed by vengeance, has his credit cards and passports revoked, effectively cutting him off from MI6. Determined to stop Quantum, Bond travels to Bolivia, where he reconnects with René Mathis, a trusted ally whose innocence was proven after the events of Casino Royale. Mathis agrees to help Bond, leveraging his connections to gain entry to Greene's charity gala. The gala, a lavish display of wealth and power, becomes another battleground. Bond rescues Camille from Greene's clutches yet again, this time thwarting an attempt to throw her from a balcony. Their escape is short-lived, however, as Bolivian police secretly on Greene's payroll detain Bond. They discover Mathis unconscious in the trunk of Bond's car, framing Bond for the attack. In the ensuing confrontation, Mathis is fatally shot. In his dying moments, Mathis urges Bond to forgive both himself and Vesper Lynd, whose betrayal and death continue to haunt him. The next day, Bond and Camille take to the skies in a small aircraft to survey Greene's land acquisition. Their mission takes a dangerous turn when they are ambushed by a Bolivian fighter plane. The ensuing aerial battle is breathtaking, culminating in their plane crashing into the mountains. They survive by skydiving into a sinkhole, where they uncover Quantum's plot to monopolize Bolivia's water supply. The discovery solidifies their resolve to bring down Greene and Medrano. Returning to La Paz, Bond learns that Fields, a consular agent assigned to monitor him, has been murdered by Quantum operatives. Her body, drenched in crude oil, is a grim reminder of the organization's ruthlessness. Despite the loss, Bond presses on. With a tip from Felix Leiter, an ally within the CIA, Bond learns that Greene and Medrano plan to finalize their deal in the Atacama Desert. Leiter, disillusioned with the CIA's complicity in Quantum schemes, warns Bond of the impending danger. The final act unfolds at a remote desert compound, where Greene forces Medrano to sign over Bolivia's water rights. When Medrano balks at the terms, Greene threatens him into submission. Bond and Camille infiltrate the facility, igniting a series of explosive confrontations. Camille confronts Medrano, unleashing years of rage and grief in a brutal fight that ends with her killing him. Meanwhile, Bond faces off against Greene in a ferocious battle that leaves the compound engulfed in flames. Despite the chaos, Bond captures Greene and forces him to reveal Quantum's secrets. True to form, Bond leaves Greene stranded in the desert with only a can of engine oil, a fitting punishment for his crimes. With the mission complete, Bond tracks down Youssef Kabira, the Quantum operative who seduced Vesper Lynd and betrayed her. In a moment of growth, Bond chooses not to kill Kabira, allowing MI6 to arrest him instead. This act of restraint marks a turning point for Bond, signaling his readiness to move beyond vengeance. As he leaves, Bond discards Vesper's necklace in the snow, a symbolic gesture of letting go. The film ends with Bond reaffirming his loyalty to MI6. When M expresses relief that he's back, Bond replies, "I never left."